Howdy y'all, JR Gamer here with another video just for you. If this is your first time here and you're looking for a relaxing space to evaluate gameplay, inspiration for your own projects, or a dose of daily awful dad jokes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right now. And while you're at it, click on the bell to get notified when I upload more videos. Howdy y'all, it's JR Gamer here again with another episode of Planet Zoo for you. This is another video. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on here in this video. I wanted to replicate one of the San Antonio Zoo's most iconic features, which is the Reptile House. It's probably the oldest building in the San Antonio Zoo, and I wanted to try and replicate it as best as I can. It's not going to be the scale. We don't have the amount. Here's a picture of it. It's very simple, stone brickwork, very simple layout, very simple roof. It's really not much of a big deal, but and it's actually a smaller scale. But what I wanted to do is kind of inflate it and include the only reptiles that we really have in Planet Zoo right now, which is the Nile monitor lizard and the gay-heel crocodile, and then of course the boa constrictor and the anaconda. Here's a top view of the reptiles house, but that's kind of what I wanted to do. Now, unfortunately, there were a couple of problems with the recording of this. One is the front end of my recording got corrupted, and so I wasn't really able to record the front part of my creation. As you can see, it's a little corrupted here. I kept this area because I wanted you to see that right there in the back is where I'm going to put the reptile house. I wanted to come up here, come in and go up to the right of the zoo. So right behind the info center and the bathrooms is where I wanted to put the reptile house. So that's where we're going to go and put it in there. And this gave me kind of an opportunity to show you that. So as you can see, it's already pretty much started because the whole front end of that file was corrupted. So I kind of cut all that out and just kind of went with what was available. This is probably going to take about 2 videos. It just took me a long time to get things as perfectly as I wanted them to be. So it'll probably take about 2 videos to get the reptile house to where I really want it. But the whole idea is that as you come into the zoo and you get past the information center, as you see the back of the reptile house, you don't see what is there. So it intrigues you, and you want to come around and come into the path, the big path, and then you see the Nile monitor lizard exhibit, and so then you want to go into the reptile house because you see the half and half, and that's what I was going for. Is half of the exhibit was going to be on the habitat was going to be outside, half of it was going to be under the roof of the reptile house. And the reason I did it like that is because, of course, we don't have that many reptiles. We've got, technically we've got 3 reptiles. We have some amphibians, and that's pretty much it. And I wanted to keep true to the name of the house, which was the Reptile House. And so I wasn't gonna add, the amphibians, the frogs. I wasn't gonna add the insects, with the what is it that we have? We've got a tarantula, and we've got a scorpion. So I wanted to keep it true to just reptiles, and so this is what I did. Now, obviously, it looks like the scale's a little big, but the idea of it is that once Planet Zoo, the launch happens, we're going to have a lot more reptiles to fill in there. We're going to have the yellow anaconda. We're going to have the iguanas. We're going to have the chameleons. And so if this was launch date and this was the real zoo, we would have all those animals inside this particular reptile house, and it would truly be a reptile house that would house all of these animals. That's kind of the idea. The other thing I want to do is, and these kinds of exhibits, this is the house itself is based on the picture that you saw earlier, but the exhibit, the habitat itself, I wanted it to be a underwater viewing platform. So I sunk the back of that reptile house where all the habitats are going to be to the ground. So that you come in, you go down the stairs, you come around, and you see the underwater portion of the habitat, while at the same time inside, if you look at the backside of that, there's going to be all the habitats for the smaller reptiles. And that was kind of where I was going, what I was going for here. I'm still working on the terrain. Is for me has always been very difficult to put together or really get it to where I was. I couldn't get the terrain to go all the way to the edge of the walls. I tried using a smaller brush, and it just it either would leave these these areas here that were still open, or it would go into the wall and would not like right there would go into the wall, and so it wouldn't look good. So that was kind of the difficult part for me, was the creating the terrain or getting the terrain to where I want it. Now, of course, this is an indoor venue, so eventually I'm going to put down pavement on there, but right now I'm just trying to get the floor to be as flat as possible and as level as possible to the path that I've put down, so that it gets there. And it's a little glitchy. I apologize for that, but yeah, I mean the file was a little corrupted. I don't know why. I think it was either my computer, or it was just too much. When I was doing this, there was too much running on the computer. But it just got, some of the file was a little corrupted. So here I'm trying to get kind of the slope for the terrain, and get the enclosure to hold water and be level, and all that wonderful stuff that you do with Planet Zoo. And unfortunately, after this, I got to the point where I was able to finish the reptile house. And just to let you know, after this is probably this and what I recorded, finishing up the reptile house, is probably the end of my episodes for Planet Zoo. Simply because after this, I pretty much turned into a glitch monster, and there were just a lot of there was money coming in, and then all of a sudden I had no money, and all of a sudden there was money, and then all of a sudden there was no money. And I recorded this right after the update, and so I don't know if the update did that or what happened, but it literally started glitching out. The zookeepers would come in and not feed the animals, or they would come in and there was a little glitch that said that a zookeeper was doing something, and it would stop, and then it would come back on. It was just it just got really glitchy and almost impossible to really work on it. So I kind of am holding out that all of these bugs are taken care at launch date, and it'll be a lot easier for us to work on what we want to do. And I'm already I'm probably gonna recreate this reptile house in my new zoo, and like I told you guys, I stuck with I really, because of the glitch, I really didn't what's the word? I really didn't get all the pieces that go with the game throughout this whole franchise mode, because I took my time. A lot of people use the hacks or the glitches or and I know lady designer had a tutorial on how to make the zoo make a lot of money, and that that's great, but I wanted it to run like a real zoo, where we didn't have all of these hacks and used all these glitches, and so it took a little bit more time and to get the money up to where it was acceptable for me to build stuff, build bigger stuff. And right now I'm at 58,000, and the zoo's running. All the animals are either at 98 or 99 of the habitat. I had one animal pass away out of old age, and so that's what I wanted. I wanted the animals' welfare to be primary, rather than just building the zoo and building the money so I could build these beautiful structures. And so I really didn't I didn't unlock all the different parts to Planet Zoo and the beta. Plus, for whatever reason, my mechanics were really glitchy. I mean, we're talking about I would put the mechanic on a particular task, and all of a sudden it would stop. It would never, and he would never finish. Now, mind you, I didn't have the time that Lady Designer and all these other guys have. I work a full-time job, so I didn't have the time to let the game run for hours, just generating cash. I would play 2 hours in the evening, maybe 3 hours in the evening while I recorded. Then I had to edit and stuff like that. So I wasn't running the game constantly, so that there was always cash flow. The cash flow happened while I was building and recording. So I didn't have the cash flow going and I didn't have the mechanics going as much as other content creators did. So I did all my buildings on the base game without any of the unlocks, just so you guys know, and that's how it's going to stay for this. Now with the once the launch happens and I have Planet Zoo for a longer time, it'll be a lot easier to be able to unlock everything on franchise mode. And I think that's what I'm gonna play, and that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm not a sandbox kind of guy. I mean, I did it on Planet Coaster just because they don't have a franchise mode in Planet Coaster. Their career mode isn't very good, and the scenario mode, I really didn't like the way it worked. It wasn't built to for the business minded. It was built more for creating scenarios for other people or for yourself, but not necessarily to run an amusement park, which is what this is. This is running a zoo, and in the launch, my idea is to focus on both, yes, the building, and everybody's going to focus on the building, but I think I'm going to focus more on the welfare of the animals, how to actually, we'll build the habitats, and we'll do them as realistic as possible. But we will focus more on, and I think what I'm going to do is record more about the welfare and taking care of the animals and making sure that they're doing right, and and the trading and all this other stuff that goes on in zoos, that besides just the building of the habitats, which is what the focus of most of the content creators is going to be building these beautiful, exotic habitats for these animals. While I'm gonna do beautiful zoos, and I'm gonna try and create beautiful zoos within the budget of of the zoo. Okay, but at the same time, also focus on the welfare of the animal and keeping the animal at the best possible state. And that's kind of what I'm going to do after launch is focus on those areas. Here I put four exhibit habitats, but I realized after looking at the marketplace that there aren't four reptile habit themselves that would go in those habitats. There's only the boa constrictor. For some reason, I thought there was a yellow anaconda, but I couldn't find it in the exhibit hall. So ultimately, I kind of give up and only put down two exhibits, and just leave the two back ones for now. Just and fill it up with just the anaconda, the boa constrictor. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but I really did not see the anaconda. And here I'm having, like everybody else, having a problem with the pathing. It would not allow for me to be able to create a path that would hit every single window like I wanted it to. And what I didn't want to do was do the grid. I tried doing the grid path down there, and it just didn't look good. And from viewing other videos, it was very glitchy. Everybody walked over each other, and I wanted there to be direct paths between each window, and they were going to be covered up with. Of course, they were going to be covered up with pavement, but the idea was that people would have to walk to the windows in certain directions, and I don't know. Everybody has those same issues with the pathing system. It's just not terrible. It's just difficult. It was clinging onto the path in the back, so I just decided to get rid of those and just keep the two in the back and just go forward with that. So that was kind of, I tried to make it as even as possible so that when I put down some pathing, it'll look okay, but it just would not hit. It would not help. It would not work for whatever reason. So I put down some additional help for that area just because we needed some more help in that area. So I put down a mechanic, a security guard, and another keeper. Put down a keeper hut, so that will take care of the reptile house, and then probably any other area that would have been built back there. But predominantly, it was going to take care of the reptile house, and so I got them to start working, and so I could start taking care of those animals. And of course, I created the work zones for them, and so now I'm going to go back to the renaming the habitats, so that we know which one is which. It said yellow anaconda, and here, see, that's always been, I guess, my biggest, not issue, but the hardest part of building for me is terrain building. For whatever reason, I can't get it as flat as normal. Here I just I put some, changed the exhibit so that it would reflect where people could walk through, which windows were open and which ones were closed. I go back to the soil, the dark soil, so that the grass doesn't cut through the path. Then I'm bringing that other path all the way over here so that we can start having some people come and look at the brand new exhibits. So I looked at once I brought in the animals, I looked at that the exhibit was way too small for the Garrad. It requires 300 square meters of water and 300 square meters of space, of land space, and so I needed to expand the habitat for the Garrad, which also ended up expanding the habitat for the the monitor lizard as well. Which, you know, it's not a problem, but you know, I had to expand both habitats in order for it to be for it to fit the Garrad's habitat. So that was kind of the thing there. Is I'm trying to expand the habitat so that it fits mostly the Garrad, which needed additional time. I see it needs a certain amount of water and a certain amount of land, and so I needed to do the same thing. The monitor lizard actually required a lot more water also, so I had to redo the lake that I created, and I opened it up. I made it so that it's open with a chain link fence in between both of them. So see, now both animals are happy with their habitat. So now I'm adding, you know, what they require, more rock and a little bit more sand, and then I'm gonna add some plants as well. Here we needed a little more rock, so I added some rocky areas for the monitor, and then you know, to make it happy, and then we're gonna rebuild the path to go around the habitat so that people can see both animals as they walk around the reptile exhibit. They can either enter the reptile exhibit through, you know, as they come off of that path, or they can go all the way around, see both habitats for the monitor and the Garrad, and then go, if they want to see them underwater, they can go into the reptile exhibit that way as well. And again, you know, I hate to say it, but the hardest or the most difficult part of both Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo is the pathing system. It's not intuitive. It doesn't. It's a pain in the butt. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a pain in the butt, and I think everybody, most people will agree with me that it is a pain in the butt. It's just not intuitive. It doesn't follow, you know, rules. It follows its own rules. That's what I'm trying to say. Finally, I got it to where I wanted it, and ultimately got all the paths to work, or, you know, for the most part, the best that I could. And then it's just a matter of tweaking the exhibits. That's a good picture right there of them. It looked like they were going to attack each other, but that wasn't the case. Putting down some donation bins, fixing the terrain. Again, my problem is always the terrain. Fixing the terrain for both for the fence line, to make sure that it's, you know, that it fits. It needed additional soil because I took some soil away and fixing that terrain. Excuse me. I didn't have any enrichment stuff. He needed some plants, so I started putting down some plants that fit within his environment. I wanted some low water plants, kind of like the I think some elephant ears. My grandma used to have elephant ears in her house. No, they weren't elephant. They weren't no. Those, yeah, I put the wrong ones down first. Yeah, I put down some elephant ears for him, just on the edges. And then I wanted to put down some cover for, you know, to cover itself from people. So I put down some bamboo on the edge of the water. Eventually I'm gonna build a little place back there for him. So we're getting here to the end of the video. Just wanted you guys to to take a look at the new habitat for both the monitor and the gharial with an underwater viewing platform. Here you'll get a really good look of the platform from the underwater side. You don't see the animals, but I think it came out pretty well. This is kind of the semi-finished version of it. We'll click on the animals right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. There'll probably be one more soon, and then that'll be it. The beta should be finished. It finishes on Monday. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I really do appreciate these videos. If you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot, and see you on the next one. Adios.
Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the content, click the like button below. Remember, if you're looking for a relaxing space to evaluate gameplay, inspiration for your own projects, or a dose of daily awful dad jokes, subscribe to the channel right now and click on the bell to get notified when I upload more videos. Until next time, adios.